Okay. Okay, this is going to be a yes/no question. And I'm going to keep it brief, only because I go on and on and on, and you end up with 2 hours of video. And that doesn't work so well for the internet. So I'm going to shuffle. I probably should have done this before. But anyway, you get the idea of how to shuffle. And the thing is, I'm going to do a yes/no question. And the question is, will the US economy improve significantly in 2009? And I'm going to use a yes/no spread, and I'm going to take 5 cards. So the middle card's going to be now. The 2 cards on the left, as I look at it, are going to be the past, and the 2 cards on the right, as I look at it, are going to represent the future, and we'll get an idea, I hope, of what we can expect. And I could just take the top 5, but I think I'm going to pick, and so we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, and I'm trusting that my whatever it is that is picking the cards knows what it's about and is going to direct me to get the right cards. So that's the 6 of batons in the past, and you've got people celebrating. This is probably an indication that people spent too much. You know what I mean? We've got 1 up top and 5 down below, and so people just overspend based on their income. Then we've got the Fool, and that in itself is interesting because the Fool represents somebody who is naive and doesn't really know what's going on. So again, you think of the credit crunch and people overspending and people buying into the fact that housing prices are going to go on, keep increasing forever, and obviously they can't. And people buying into the idea that the economy is going to increase forever, and it can't, because you need periodic not depressions, but periodic ups. I mean, it's a cycle. It goes up and then it has to come down again. It can't keep going up forever. But the Fool is people's belief, let's say, that things can only get better. Okay, so that's 2 yeses. The one in the middle, the 7 of Cups, that's interesting because this card shows clouds and somebody, a key word that you'll find in some books is castles in the air. Unrealistic expectations, people just hoping that wishes are going to come true, but there isn't any kind of solid or realistic foundation for it. So we've got, things were okay then, but the Fool and this together look kind of difficult. When it comes to the economy, you want realism and reality and practicality and solid reasons for doing what you do and a game plan. And this is not shown here. But at this point, the answer is yes, things are going to improve in 2009, because that is 1, 2, 3, 4 yeses, and even if these 2 are no's, it's still going to be the overall answer is going to be yes. So what comes next? The 10 of Pentacles. I need to look at the next one as well. The Hanged Man. I think you need to pause for just a moment while I think about this. Does that mean yes? Okay, so this bit here may look a little bit different because while I was thinking, I gathered these up and then I thought I should put them back. Anyway, so we have the 10 of Pentacles coming up and the Hanged Man. And so the 10 of Pentacles, as you can see, is children, adults and grandparents. So we've got the idea that you think somehow it's like what's going to happen in 2009 is, and the other thing to say is 10 is 1 plus 0 gets you back to 1 again. And coins is not just money, it also represents values. So what we have during 2009 is people in different generations, like young people, middle-aged people, as well as old people. Although maybe the old people don't need to do this the same way, but it's like there's a new value sense develops. And people become or realize that what we do now affects us in the future. People realize there are consequences to actions that are undertaken now. And so you can find, or we, I think, are going to find in 2009, there's improvement in the economy because it gets back to basics and people spend money on something that has value and that has lasting value. So there's a change, and so you can find that industries that manufacture garbage, that produce stuff that really has no real value and has no lasting value, those are the industries that are going to suffer. Whereas people and industries and corporations and businesses that are making or that are manufacturing, for instance, anything that's valuable and that will last and will have lasting value, these are the people that will survive and that will prosper. And so the fact that it's 10 is 1 plus nothing is 1 again, you'll see a new mentality developing among people in the US, and a change of emphasis and a different kind of interest. So the thing is, the final outcome is the hanged man, which shows somebody hanging. So they're suspended from gallows, or they're suspended from a tree, and they're not touching the ground. And the hanged man represents, well, suspension and delay. So there's improvement in the US economy in 2009, but it's not because somebody comes along and waves a magic wand or does something that makes things better. I think it's a part of a process where people develop a new value sense. They are concerned about what is of lasting value. And because if there had been a different card here, there could be an overnight change, or you might find that 6 months into the year, there's a big improvement. I think you're probably going to find, if you look at the numbers, that the numbers will maybe be the same at the beginning of the year as at the end, in terms of what's produced and how much is spent and so on. And the value of property, let's say, is not going to suddenly become extremely valuable again, because the hanged man is here. There will be delays. It will take time for the damage that was done in past years and past decades to be undone. And so that's one way of looking at a 5-card spread. This is the furthest in the past, this is the recent past, this is now, this is the immediate future, and this is the long-term future, beginning from the left. So if you had 7 cards or 9, you would start on the extreme left, and that's the furthest back you're getting information about, and then you move this way through. This is the present, and then these cards take you into the future. And that's another example of a yes-no spread.